Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is Montana This Morning from Montana's news leader.
Good morning. Thanks for waking up with us here on Montana This Morning. I'm Augusta McDonald.
And I'm Louis Storch. Hope you're having a great start to your Thursday. Have a big storm system rolling in today, Augusta. But man, it's frustrating. If you like the snow, especially around like Missoula, down through the Bitterroot Valley, we're just really going to miss out on it again today.
Again today, so what's coming up?
Well, we're going to see a little bit of a rain-snow mix today. We're going to see some mountains are going to pick up a lot of snow. In northwestern Montana is going to pick up some snow as well. So we'll get into all these details as we roll throughout the morning. Forecast headlines, I can mention that strong system. It will have some travel impacts, especially over those mountain passes. So if you are planning on doing some travel over those passes, we're talking about snowfall of anywhere 1 to 2 feet expected by Friday. So that's going to create very difficult, if not impossible, travel. And then quieter weekend, we have that to look forward to with some lingering snow and a mix of sun and clouds by Sunday. Here's your Thursday forecast. So Missoula, snow showers in the morning, then afternoon rain snow mix. Kalispell, snow throughout the day. Some snow in the morning for Hamilton and then rain in the afternoon. And then Polson will be looking at some snow in the morning and then a rain snow mix by the afternoon.
Alrighty, thank you, Louis. In Missoula this morning, Missoula Children's Museum remains closed after tests deemed the air quality as unhealthy. The facility, which sits above a private cigar club, is waiting further testing to determine if the poor air quality is coming from tobacco smoke. MTN's Kent Lutzen spoke with the museum director about this ongoing issue.
First and foremost, no one should walk into a public space and be affronted by tobacco odor in 2018. That's unacceptable and it's untenable. We have to find the source of this, and logic will tell us one thing, but data is going to tell us another.
Museum patrons began sending complaints of tobacco smell to the Missoula City County Health Department, which in return led to the health board filing a lawsuit against the Fool's End Cigar Club. The Children's Museum has elected to stay closed since the beginning of December due to the possibilities of poor air quality. Robert said with roughly 2,000 visitors a month, it's been hard to find other locations to host events, and it's been tough economically.
Revenue streams have been challenged, and so has our operations at large. We do have family education and curricular workshops that we lead that can still happen, but they have to happen off-site. So it's a real challenging logistical circumstance right now, but the reality is until we fully understand what the source of the problem is and how to permanently solve it, we're not going to let guests back in here.
As for now, Roberts is hoping the tobacco-specific tests will bring a conclusion to this problem.
We just want to get back to a safe space, a healthy space, something that we have confidence in and the public can, without any doubt or concern, come and spend their money and invite their families and their babies to crawl around on our floor without any worry.
Kent Lutzen, MTN News, Missoula.
We reached out to the health department, but they are unable to respond this time because they are in litigation with the cigar club. And also in Missoula, city street crews continue their work to clear city streets and drainage areas of snow berms. Mild temperatures following 2 big snow events over the last 2 weeks have led to water quickly ponding on roads, leaving drainage areas susceptible to overflow. With an estimated 7,000 drains in Missoula, the city has a priority list based on those areas where the biggest and most frequent issues have popped up in the past. City Street Superintendent Brian Hansel says they will continue to address problems as they come up.
So when it's warm like this, our priority snow plowing, we're in pretty good shape. We'll try to respond to requests for other plowing as we can. But right now, this is our primary focus while the weather stays warm and things continue to melt.
That he appreciates those residents who have been pitching in and clearing berms and drains, alleviating flooding concerns. And to keep an eye on the changing conditions in western Montana, all you need is a mobile device. Just download the KPAX Storm Tracker Weather app to get on-the-go forecasts from our Storm Tracker Weather team. It's free in the Google Play or the App Store. Top stories this morning. President Donald Trump is playing down the possibility that he will give an interview to investigators looking into any collusion between his presidential campaign and Russia. Meanwhile, as immigration reform talks continue on Capitol Hill, 7-Eleven stores around the country were raided and workers suspected of being illegal immigrants taken in by federal agents. Hannah Doba has more on yet another busy day in Washington.
There has been no collusion between the Trump campaign and Russians or Trump and Russians. No collusion.
President Trump insists there is no need for him to give an interview to special counsel Robert Mueller, who's looking into connections between the Trump campaign and Russian operatives. In a tweet yesterday, Mr. Trump called the investigation the greatest witch hunt in American history. He also urged the GOP to step in, writing in part, Republicans should finally take control. Meantime, in the largest immigration raid against any employer since Mr. Trump took office, federal agents targeted nearly 100 7-Eleven stores Wednesday. Workers suspected of being in the country illegally were arrested. This just a day after Mr. Trump met with Republicans and Democrats on immigration reform. The president insists any deal on DACA that would secure the fate of thousands of young people brought into this country illegally as children must be tied to a border wall.
We need the wall for security. We need the wall for safety. We need the wall for stopping the drugs from pouring in.
Late Tuesday, a federal judge in California blocked the Trump administration from ending DACA. He ruled that the administration made a mistake of law when deciding to roll back the Obama-era order.
I believe there's a lesson here for the Trump administration. Don't try to change the rules by breaking the rules.
In a statement, the White House called the injunction, quote, outrageous. Hannah Doba, CBS News.
Bipartisan talks continue today on the so-called DACA Dreamers. Senate Democrats say the immigration deal must be attached to budget legislation to prevent a government shutdown by next week. Other top stories this morning, former Obama-era Transportation Secretary Ray Al-Hood will lead the investigation into problems that recently crippled travel at New York's John F. Kennedy International Airport. Last week's snowstorm coupled with record low temperatures caused a backlog of international flights and a water main burst, leaving thousands of travelers stranded through the weekend. And the lights are back on at the CES Tech Show in Las Vegas. Power went out for about 2 hours in some of the showrooms at the Las Vegas Convention Center on Wednesday. Officials are blaming the outage on heavy rainfall earlier this week. Some of the exhibitors used the blackout to tout their battery-operated products. Joining us now in the Weather Center, meteorologist Louis Dortch has the latest. Louis.
All right, thank you, Augusta. Good morning, everyone. Starting to see snow beginning to push into Idaho and western Montana. Now, this is just the beginning of the main system that's going to move through later on this morning and into the early afternoon time. But light snow starting to fall around western Montana, and here in Missoula, we have a little bit of a light dusting, a fresh coat of snow on the ground. We'll see some light snow this morning before it turns to an all-rain snow mix as we move into the afternoon time. But again, like I mentioned, expect it to really pick up steam by this afternoon. So here's your snow chances. First, let's go to Kalispell, northwestern Montana. About a 60% chance of snow around 8 a.m. this morning. And then notice how it really picks up as we get into the afternoon and evening time. Northwest Montana around Kalispell is going to remain all snow. Now, here's your rain and snow chances for Missoula. Around a 60% chance of snow this morning. Really picks up by this afternoon. And then notice as we get into the afternoon and evening time, it transitions over to a rain-snow mix. And then Hamilton in southwest Montana, slight chance of snow this morning. Better chance of light snow this afternoon, and then it's going to turn into a rain event 4 p.m. and around 8 p.m., then back to a rain snow mix very early tomorrow morning. So here's a look at snowfall totals, what you can expect for today. Around 5 to 8 possible in Kalispell and Eureka, 3 to 6 in Libby. Notice those passes. Lookout Pass and Marias Pass could get close to 2 feet of snow by the time this is all said and done. Seeley Lake could see around 8 to 12 inches, but notice those valleys and as you head further south. Polson just 2 to 4 inches, Thompson Falls 2 to 4 inches, Missoula around ½ an inch to just an inch expected. Lost Trail Pass, again the mountain's going to pick up a good amount of snow. Everywhere else, very little snow expected as this is going to be a warmer system moving through. Here's your 7-day forecast for Missoula. 36 with a rain snow mix today, 36 tomorrow, 35 on Saturday, 35 also on Sunday, and then we'll keep quieter weather with another system possible as we roll into Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. Kalispell 31 today with snow showers, 32 tomorrow with snow, especially in the morning. We'll see 36 on Saturday, 34 as we move into Sunday. And then Hamilton 36 with rain and snow showers today, 38 tomorrow. We'll see 36 on Saturday. We start to clear it out as we move into the weekend and into next week with, again, another chance of some rain and snow showers by Tuesday and Wednesday.
Alrighty, thank you, Liz. Montana This Morning will be continuing right after this, but first, here's your birthday shout-outs.